I have a story.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Please go.
Yeah. Actually, that story was connected with one of the poem of Sri Aurobindo, Dreamboat. But this story is actually by one of the disciple of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. His name is Ramakrishna Ananda. He wrote this story actually. I heard it in Tamil, but I translated in my simple English. I translated it. Actually, there was a Mithai wala, and he used to live a decent life with his wife and children, two of the sons. So one day he saw a sadhu in his street. He saw his clothes were worn out and it is very damaged dress actually with all the holes. So he wanted to do some help as he could actually. So he asked that sadhu next day what help he can extend to him actually. That sadhu said, I don't want any help. Only thing, if you stitch these cloths, I'll be very happy, he said. So readily he did that actually, that Mithai wala. So that sadhu felt very happy how he voluntarily came and helped to do all these things. Yeah. He said, I will give you a precious gift. So are you ready to take it? Mithai wala was very curious. He thought some comforts of life or something else. He readily said yes. And then he said, no, I will give you liberation. So are you ready? He said, he understood the meaning somewhat. I mean, what does he mean by liberation? He said, no, my children are small. My wife is young. I am coming up in the life. So after some years, if you come, I can come with you. And even if my wife also ready, she can also accompany us, he said. So Sadhu took that word and went off, actually. So after some years, as he assured, he came back. Came back, actually, in that shop, Mithai shop, his son was there. So he asked the son, where is your father? He showed some field, crop field. So he went there, Sadhu went there. That old man was working there. Now, are you ready? Your son is settled. He is taking over the shop. So you can come. What? He said, no, the business is not good. They are all struggling to come up. So I have to help them. So I am working in the field now. Okay. So when will you come then with me? No, after some years you come. Okay, Sadhu went back very patiently. He went back. And then again he came after some years. That time his son told him, my father died. That Sadhu got shocked, but immediately he recognized the vibration of that man actually. So he found out there was an ox in the field actually. So he found out that ox was his father. He came as an ox there. So after everyone went off, he sprinkled the water from that kamandalu and asked that ox, okay, you can come now. Now you can come for the liberation. I can take you, no problem. No, the ox said, it seems, no, they are still struggling. I want to help them. That is why I born like this here with all the attachments. Okay, you take your another 5 or 10 years, I will come back, but I won't leave you, the sadhu said. So he went off actually after some years. And again, the son said the ox died. So immediately his sadhu recognized a dog is there protecting the house in front of the gate. He recognized the dog. So that father came with the body of dog. That time also dog in that body also he refused actually because he wanted to protect the family. So he went off again. So after some years, that time Sadhu got little angry actually with that attachment and everything. But he didn't want to leave him. So after some years, he came again. That time that those sons, no, they got angry with the sadhu. They told, whenever you come, some death is happening in our family. First my father died, then ox died, then dog died. Now you come, what are you going to do? That sadhu said, you go to your house, and there is a place under the cot of your father where he was sleeping. He used to sleep, no? So there is a treasure, lot of treasure inside the, I mean, under the cot. You can go and find out. So the sons believed those words and they digged out. Really, there was a treasure, but a big snake was there. So they couldn't take the treasure. Sadhu knows that snake was father, actually, again, because he is protecting the wealth of the family now. So the sons asked the sadhu, what can I do? We will kill the snake and then only we can bring out the treasures. Sadhu said coolly, yeah, you kill the snake. So that time, so that snake realized how stupid I am, actually. With all that, the sons killed the snake and took the treasure. Sadhu went off. So this story I heard through WhatsApp, actually, in Tamil. After the 4 or 5 days, no, I was going through an invocation from Savitri Bhavan. There I read Alok Das one talk about the book 2, Canto 3, Glory and Fall of Life. So in that, Alok Das quoted one of the poem of Sri Aurobindo, actually, which said, actually, come, all the human beings, when will you come? You read the poem, actually? I will read the poem.
I have not read the poem. Please read, yeah.
Okay, yeah. The dream boat. Who was it that came to me in a boat made of dream fire with his flame brow and his sun gold body? Melted was the silence into a sweet secret murmur. Do you come now? Is the heart's fire ready? Hidden in the recesses of the heart, something shuddered. It recalled all that the life's joys cherished, imagined the felicity it must leave lost forever, and the boat passed and the gold god vanished. Now, within the hollowness of the world's breast inhabits, for the love died and the old joy ended. Void of a felicity that has fled, gone forever, and the gold god and the dream boat come not. So for this, he wrote the meaning also, actually, for this poem. The divine is calling the human beings, but human beings are always refusing, showing and telling all the family attachments and all the temptations, with all temptations, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Really beautiful. And also that coincidence, immediately after the story, I read this, actually. So I wanted to share this thing, yeah.
So this there is also Chitraji, this one line you remember from Savitri, this when the divine calls you. I think in that context it is a long no, ages of no, and a limping yes.
Yes, yeah.
Where I've read this,
correct.
Maybe
Yeah,
Savitri,
yes.
huh?
Yeah,
Savitri
yeah.
line only, yeah.
Limping, yes, correct. And also long, dim preparation, no man's journey.
Yes.
Again
So
and again. But
yeah.
yeah, of course, Sri Aurobindo's, thing, evolution won't go downward like this, actually, definitely. But this story we can take as, how the attachment pulled the man always towards that family with the animal form, in the insect form, everything, yeah. So this is my sharing today.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a second. I'm just sharing that sentence. Yeah, got it. Okay, let me share this also. stop share. Yeah, here. Yeah, a limping, yes,
limping.
through the aeons, journeys still. Huh? A long
long
duration is
duration.
man's life. So I think they have just made a collection of different beautiful lines here.
Yeah, okay.
Epigrams
Nice.
from Savitri MP.
Okay, MP Pandit. Okay, yeah.
A casual passing phrase can change our life. How beautiful. And again and again, it strikes me that it mostly, it appears as if it's the only thing that is lacking is our receptivity. The moment we become receptive, anything, a stone falling, somebody crossing a road, anything ordinary has the capacity to change your life. All depends on our receptivity, how receptive we are, how porous we are to that grace. Beautiful lines here.
Yeah, beautiful lines. Yeah, that's what I'm
conscious power has drawn the plan of life. A cave of darkness guards the eternal light. All our challenges and emotional conflicts, mental conflicts. A death-bound littleness is not all we are.
All we are.
So beautiful.
Few can climb to an unperishing sun. Yeah, a few can climb to an unperishing sun.
Yeah, a few.
Yeah.
People who are ready, not everyone is ready. Those of us who are ready.
Very suitable to this story, all these lines, no? Really.
A formless yearning passions in man's heart. A force that helps, supports the suffering earth. A greater destiny waits you in your front.
Yeah, this is what that sadhu said. No,
But we are not ready. We are not ready. We have things to do. We have things to cook, care for.
It's never ending. Never ending.
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful. This often, this line, a limping, yes, reminds me of, for example, our sessions, all of the sessions that are going on. There are many of us who are very actively participating in the sense that they want to now change something about life. And there also, it is very, very visible that although a part of my being is ready to make the transformation or to take that leap of faith towards a new life, but there are so many little parts of the being who are saying no, we are not ready, we are not ready, we are not ready. Abhi mat bolo, पहले ये सुलझा लेंगे, फिर बात करना है. और वो फिर कभी आता नहीं है. That the next time never comes.
It won't come. Yeah, it won't come.
See that one, a moment sees and the ages toil to express.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's a question of our awareness. That's all.
A new creation from the old shall rise. In each one of us, a new creation from the old shall rise. A part is seen and we take it for the whole.
Power beyond earth's scope has touched the earth. Yeah, prisoner of itself, the being.
A prisoner of itself. Yesterday we were talking in one of the sessions that how to not think. How to not think. Now we are so obsessively, we have this over years, we have so abusively used the mind for thinking. Now it's as if it's gone out of control. We cannot, we have to ask this question that how can I not think? As if this machine of the mind is going on and on and on and on, and I have no power over it. as if someone has almost capsized, seized my boat, and I have no control over this mind. So we have to ask this question, how not to think. So there are a few disturbing thoughts, and mother shares that whenever disturbing thoughts come, do not entertain them. Now the question that I have to ask is, how do I not entertain them? As if there is nothing in my hands. So this is, a prisoner of itself. We are our own prisoners. We have captured our own selves. We have made ourselves into a prison of thought, and we are unaware, But it's again a practicing of a muscle. The moment I decide, okay, all I want is peace, and hence I would not entertain that thought at all, you exercise that muscle, and then slowly it gains strength.
And for not entertaining also, as you used to tell, no, that is the mantra for me. No? Yeah, come and sit in the chair. Yeah, I don't want to, go to the stories.
Yeah.
Let it be. For how long? Let it be. Let it be. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. That is the only way to come out of the thoughts.
Really. Yeah. Yesterday I was sharing with Swapna. Swapna was talking, and I was just sharing that imagine that a story of past comes to you. So mother says, stay with me. But what do? I go and entertain mind and vital. I entertain them. So imagine that mind and vital are two ladies who have come to my house and they want entertainment. What do? I, along with serving them tea, I also serve them bakery products and pakoras and chai and samosas, So fully I get drenched in the story and the vital and emotional melodrama. And what mother is asking us, if the mental and the vital ladies come to you, do not even serve them tea. Now, what do? I serve them pakoras also along with that. And so as you were sharing, you just have to let them be. You are not entertaining them at all. And after, they will come again, and then they will see this lady does not entertain me at all. So why would they come then?
Yeah.
The very fact that they are coming again and again is that they're getting some kind of entertainment.
Correct.
So we have to stop that entertainment. Stop being a good host to them. Yeah.
There are beautiful lines in Savitri also about the mind and the thoughts, how it is producing thoughts like a factory. There are lines actually.
Yeah.
Beautiful lines. Sri Aurobindo touched all the aspects of life. No?
Yeah. See this one. A thinking puppet is the mind of life.
Yeah, thinking.
Today, a very day-to-day thing happened in the morning. I wanted to be a little kind to my husband because it's his weekend. So I said, very rarely I say yes for a movie. So I said, okay, I will see a movie. He said, doesn't matter. We'll select a movie of your choice because it was an event that I will watch. Miracles Fall from Heaven was the movie which we saw. And it was about a mother who, fights for her child to get well and how her faith in God is reiterated again. It was a 2-hour film. And throughout that movie, I kept thinking, I am giving food to my vital, total, and emotions, and feeding it and howling away. And, the whole thing. And I could have instead read something or done something that would have kept me quieter. And, at the end of the film, which was a beautiful film, but at the end of the film, I felt I wasted all my emotions for 2 hours. Now, this feeling has never come before. You go, you enjoy a film, you enjoy the crying, the melodrama, and the theme was good. Everything was perfect. But I felt 2 hours. How much I could have read. I could have, and then I would have told Monica, see, Monica, I read this, I did this. But instead, I was feeding my vital and my emotions, and I was thinking that, okay, I'm giving him time and company, and so I'm doing my good deed for the day. But inside my heart, I was feeling it's a waste of time. So I felt today that at least for a few seconds, that awareness came that this was a waste of time. You know, which I would have never done before. But I think because of these sessions now, I said, I could hear Monica, total waste of time. Total, you're just feeding your vital. I got up and I left.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a step.
You know, मुझे लगता है कि काफी बार ऐसा भी होता है कि it also depends the way you look at the movie. Even if you are looking at a movie, so if imagine a sadhu is looking at a movie and a normal ordinary human being is looking at a movie, वो साधु ऐसे तरीके से मूवी देखेगा कि उसमें से भी कुछ एक्सट्रैक्ट निकाल लेगा. तो मुझे लगता है कि इतना भी ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, देखना है जरूर देखिए कंपनी फॉर कंपनी से और एनीथिंग, बट मुझे लगता है कि एक देखने का नजरिया कैसा है, यू नो, हाउ आर यू एक्चुअली लुकिंग एट द मूवी. सो उस मूवी में से भी यू कैन एक्सट्रैक्ट समथिंग ऑफ रेलेवेंस which actually does not make you feel that, you know, you have wasted your time. I think that is possible in many cases, but then there are movies which are absolutely stupid.
No,
But
this I actually, when I was seeing, I said, see her, how she surrendered completely and a miracle happened to the child and all. But somewhere I knew that ये जो खिचड़ी बना रही हूँ ना emotions की, ये ले और रो ले और I knew I was playing. So it was like a conflict, you know. Yes, that person is surrendering, but I feel that the time when we start making a shift towards knowing where our thoughts and mind is being utilized, even if the awareness starts setting in, then we start getting a shade better.
Very true. Very true. You know, this mother also says, and I think the moment you begin to offer all the things that you do in day-to-day life to the mother, you know, mother, I offer this interaction to you, I offer this, you know, I'm meeting a friend. Mother says that it would stop you from a lot of foolish actions, because you cannot actually make a foolish action and surrender it to the mother. It is not possible. So the moment I am going to do an action which is considered foolish, which I know is not required, and if I say, mother, be with me, I offer this interaction to you, you would not be able to make that action or say that thing. It is not possible. So mother
says, 2 hours, you know,
yeah,
I was aware.
Yeah.
I said, mother, see, this is how I'm, but it was an awareness that this is, you teach me something out of it. Huh? You keep teaching. But so I realized that there was a connect. Some connect was there, whether it was Kacha connect also, connect was there. So what I'm saying, our ordinary things, even like cooking, ordinary links, but we can try and make a connect, at least in our waking hours.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And also, you know, we have talked about sleep also many a times, hai na? Matlab how to sleep, mother talks about it. So we have discussed it many times, and this really helps that whenever we are about to sleep, mother says, absolutely become still, like a towel on the bed. I think that really helps. Particularly, I have experimented with it. It helps a lot. And also remembering the mother. So sleep in the lap of the mother. And it actually makes you very, you know, when you get up, you are very refreshed, and a short sleep is enough. Then you don't need to sleep longer hours. And all that khichdi that may be going on in the head, that also gets calmed off, kind of soothes down. Yeah.
You get up very peaceful.
Yeah, exactly.
There was, you remember last time I read on illness, there is one thing which mother says, but it's a little long. I will read only the first paragraph and then you catch it on Incarnate Word. illnesses enter, somebody asked the question, illnesses enter through the subtle body, don't they? How can they be stopped? Because it's a practical thing which we all face very often in our lives. And mother says, here we are. If one is very sensitive, one must be very sensitive. The moment they touch the subtle body and try to pass through, one feels it. It is not like something touching the body. It is a sort of a feeling. If you are able to perceive it at that moment, you have still the power to say no, and it goes away. But for this, one must be extremely sensitive. However, that develops. All these things can be developed methodically by the will. You can become quite conscious of this envelope. And if you develop it sufficiently, you don't even need to look and see. You feel that something has touched you. I can give you an instance of this. There are many similar ones. And then she describes. Should I read a little? Someone was seeking to establish a constant and conscious contact, absolutely constant and conscious, with the inner Godhead, not only with the psychic being, but the divine presence in the psychic being. And she had decided that she would be like this, that she would busy herself with nothing else. And that is to say, whatever she might be doing, her concentration was upon this. And even when she went out walking in the street, her concentration was upon this. She lived in a big city where there was much traffic, buses, tramways, etc. Many things. And to cross the street, one had to be considerably careful, wide awake and attentive. Otherwise, one could get run over. But this person had resolved that she would not come out of her concentration. One day when she was crossing one of the big avenues with all its cars and tramways, still deep in her concentration, in her inner seeking, she suddenly felt at about an arm's length a little shock like this. And she jumped back and a car passed just by her side. If she had not jumped back, she would have been run over. This is an extreme point, but without going so far, one can very easily feel a kind of a little discomfort. It is not something which is imposed with a great force. A little uneasiness coming near you from anywhere at all, front, behind, above, below. If at that moment you are sufficiently alert and you say no, as though you were cutting off the contact with the great strength, and it is finished. If you are not conscious at that moment, the next minute or a few minutes later, you get a queer, sick feeling inside, a cold in the back, a little uneasiness, the beginning of some disharmony, and you feel a maladjustment somewhere as though the general harmony had been disturbed.
Beautiful, yes. Beautiful.
This,
I think it is about herself. I heard in one
herself.
of...
Yes.
Yes. This struck with me since the past many years. I have always felt I must search, remain sensitive and alert to search when it is trying to invite itself. And in retrospect, very often you find that you were vulnerable at that point and you missed it because you were in the rush of some vital emotions like anger or some frustration or something. And they engross you so much that when the disease is entering, it didn't catch your attention.
Totally. Yes, yeah. Absolutely. It's almost like, imagine that you have a farm and you are standing at the fence, you are protecting the farm. And the moment you are in the nasha or addiction of the vital and the mental, wild animals come and they just enter and do the destruction, almost like that. So the mother talks about vigilance a lot, you know.
Yes.
Vigilance, and then the rejection, when mother says no. If you are sufficiently alert, then you will be able to say no.
No.
So this no never dawns upon us because we are hardly there. We are just lost in the mental and vital world mostly. Yeah.
This is a very beautiful write-up. It's worth reading. Very beautiful.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You know, many a times I also feel that people who are emotionally kind of more, you know, people who are more emotional, sentimental, with them this thing also happens, that in order to get attention from others, they invite illnesses in the body. That if I become ill, then at least then I will get attention. This is also a drama of the vital, you know, that okay, chalo bimar pad jate hain, you know, only then maybe the attention I'm not getting right now. But it's such a big bargain that we make for the being a slave of the vital, that we can play the havoc on the body, but attention I should get from it, people, you know. Havoc on body is allowed. So that's also again a vital, yeah, misery from the vital.
There is a known entity in medicine,
Yeah,
where there are people who manifest all the symptoms of a major illness to the point of undergoing a surgery and repeated surgeries and enjoying that surgical time just for the drama of the event. And it is a sick mind that does it, but it is a known fact.
Yeah, it is a disease, no?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I am forgetting the name. It is a disease where you manifest the symptoms.
Yeah.
You make sure you convince the doctor that you need surgery. You undergo surgery to appease yourself and to attract a lot of sympathy and, you know, vital emotions around. And by the time that abates, that goes down a bit, and you start thinking that there is a semblance of some peace, you manufacture something else.
Okay.
And these are people who have multiple scars on the body of various surgeries, and they don't rest till the end. They are still doing it. So I connected that these are the
amazing. How blind can one become? It's just a, you know, reflection of that we get almost, you know, addicted to this ego, that कुछ भी कर देंगे उसके लिए, जीवन का सत्यानाश कर देंगे, but ego का साथ देना है. Amazing.
And you know, at every point there is a stop. If you want to put it, there is a guard door. If you want to put it, no, I think I won't do this. Only thing is, it requires strength, but then you get the strength.
Yeah,
so
I see
you
people
ask for it.
Yeah, I know some people like, yeah, correct.
Monica?
There is a name for that disease also, no? That there is a name actually. I forgot.
Yes, Gurpreet ji.
Monica, where can we get to read the entire write-up with Jyotsna ji shared? Maybe.
Yes, so I can share this link in the WhatsApp window. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So anything else anyone would like to share? So Badal ji, in case you have read something you want to share.
I was reading one story told by the mother. This was vibrations from another world. one thing that is now beginning to be recognized by everyone, even by the medical corps, is that hygienic measures, for example, are effective only to the extent that one has confidence in them. Take the case of an epidemic. Many years ago, we had a cholera epidemic here. It was bad. But the chief medical officer of this hospital was an energetic man. He decided to vaccinate everybody. When he discharged the vaccinated man, he would tell them, now you are vaccinated and nothing will happen to you. But if you are not vaccinated, you would be sure to die. He told them this with great authority. Generally, such an epidemic lasts a long time and it is difficult to arrest it. But in some 15 days, I think this doctor succeeded in checking it. In any case, it was done miraculously fast. But he knew very well that the best effect of his vaccination was the confidence it gave to people. Now, quite recently, they had found something else, and I consider it wonderful. They have discovered that for every disease, there is a microbe that cures it. Call it a microbe if you like, anyway, some sort of germ. But what is so extraordinary is that this microbe is extremely contagious, even more contagious than the microbe of the disease. And it generally develops under two conditions. In those who have a sort of natural good humor and energy, and in those who have a strong will to get well. Suddenly, they catch the microbe and are cured. And what is wonderful is that if there is one who is cured in an epidemic, 3 more recovers immediately. And this microbe is found in all who are cured. But I am going to tell you something. What people take to be a microbe is simply the materialization of a vibration or a will from another world. When I learned of these medical discoveries, I said to myself, truly, science is making progress. This was the story by Mother on 14th March 1951.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Badalji. You know, this is very interesting. Mother shares here, and it generally develops under two conditions. In those who have a sort of natural good humor and energy, and in those who have a strong will to get well. So I think this is beautiful, this condition that Mother puts here. Otherwise, you know, people who, those of us who take ourselves too seriously, you know, then it dampens all that energy that is needed to get well. So that's really very interesting. This good humor, not to take ourselves that seriously, good humor, energy, and also a will. You know, for example, if I have lost all the purpose and meaning in life, then I cannot get well again. It's impossible. But if I have something in my life to look forward to, only then I will be able to exercise this strong will that is there, you know, to get well. Yeah. Beautiful.
She's telling that is the microbe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice, no?
Yeah. This is really good. Yeah.
Very often one is tested. There have been times when, you know, some patients come and they ask for an injection to get cured, and they're convinced that it is that injection which is going to cure them. And don't tell me anything else. I have personally seen so many doctors and at so many instances when we have just given a placebo, water, vitamin C or something. And it's called the placebo effect. But basically, it is this positive mind which tells you nothing's going to happen to you. You're going to be well. And you give the shot. Person goes out, nothing. So that force is there. Mother has named it microbe.
Yeah.
But it is basically medical terms, we call them endorphins.
Yeah.
These are hormones of wellness. When you try to relax, meditate, there is a certain hormone level which peaks up, and it is called an endorphin, which gives you a sense of well-being. Even if your body is physically very ill, you will get a sense of well-being. And then that is the onset of a cure.
And also, I believe that imagine that there is a very bad situation at home and everybody is ill. And for example, I am the only one responsible for taking care. For example, I'm just creating a situation. In also those situations where I want to do help or support people, and I know that I can do it, maybe I have a connection with the mother or whatever, there also that you would see that you would not be falling that ill that the other people around may fall ill, because you have inwardly you have made a resolve that, okay, I am going to do it, whatever support is needed, because everyone is falling ill and nobody is here to support. So mother, please keep me fit. And it works, you are fit and you are active, although you are also under the same microbe or whatever flu infection, but still the capacity that you get owing to this willingness to serve, it just connects you with deeper and deeper strength, that you are able to work and support other people around. So
the universe conspires to keep you well if you decide.
Yes, exactly. And
it's a matter of your deciding here.
Exactly. The second line that mother is sharing, that those who have a strong will, that yes, I want to do it, I want to be at least good enough to serve people around, and that happens very true.
Like when we just 2 months back, when we took our vaccines in January and in February, we were all down. I mean, it was uncontrollable sleep, feverish, body ache, the works. But then I said to myself, no, but I have to look after the family because my daughter is there, my husband is there, and we were all flat out. She said, mother, you give me the strength to stand up, cook, give them fresh food, and get along. Literally in a trance. I don't even know how I got up, made 3 meals, gave everybody food and went to sleep, got up rejuvenated in 2 hours, again did the whole cycle. And then it dawned on me that you do get strength if you decide that the strength has to come, and not why me.
Totally. Yeah.
Even for those people, where those they are residing in ashram doing sadhana, and if their relatives got ill that time, if they want to go home and take care of those relatives, mother used to tell, it seems there are so many people to take care of them, but you can pray. That all can't do that actually. Yeah, that is also there.
Totally. Yes, absolutely. Prayer, something is very weird, the way we live with prayers. We use prayers as the last resort. That is what we say, कि चलो अब कुछ काम नहीं आ रहा तो अब prayer काम आएगी. Just prayers can help. So as if the prayers are the last priority. But I think prayers must be our way of life, otherwise. And in these intense situations, for example, the conditions right now, I think these are also beautiful times to pray intensely, because this intensity of crisis also gives us a deeper connection to pray. Otherwise, we don't have such kind of a deeper connection. Yeah.
Sometimes if I pray, sometimes very rarely I used to get some lines in Tamil only, in my own language. Yeah, today when I was praying, I got those lines like that. I mean, as if you come as a breath to mother. I understand, you come as a breath, because everyone is struggling for breathing actually. They are, buying the oxygen. It is very awkward to hear all the news, no? So those lines came to me in Tamil actually. Yeah, came as a breathing, and that I mean that Kriya Shakti, yes, Kriya Shakti mother should come down to earth and save the people like that. Okay.
That's beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. That's very powerful. Yes. Thank you for sharing.
Do you also sent a clipping, no, that to approach in some other way that virus? That is also beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that is very, very visible is that somehow होता है ना कि we were supposed to use this place as a guest house, but हमने इसको अपना घर ही बना लिया, you know, कि यहीं settle हो गए, बस यहीं रहना है, कुछ नहीं हिलना चाहिए, family member कोई नहीं इधर उधर होना चाहिए. So that is not how it was supposed to be. It was just supposed to be something on the way, you know. Kabir also says, Kabirji says that you have come from far and you have to go very far. Where did you got settled in between? You know, how did you get settled in between? So somehow that thing also is very, very obvious, that somehow we've begun to think that we are just here forever, you know, and that is not true. We are not here forever. You know, we take life for granted, we take relationships for granted, every day, every breath for granted we have taken.
Yeah.
You know, the daily walks below wherever, you know, we are going, we take it for granted, and now we are not able to walk, we are not able to breathe properly, children are not able to go down, you know, and
Yeah.
play. So
That is
all,
what, correct. Because we are washing the hands again and again, but we can't see that virus really. That is a mysterious thing, but we are afraid of the virus.
yeah,
I was just thinking that day, whether we really showed any gratitude for our breathing any day. Any day we realized we are breathing and we are thanking mother for that. No, but now we are afraid every time washing the hands for that virus. Really. That is also mysterious. This is also mysterious, but this mystery is the thing we have to always look at it with gratitude, this mystery. But this mystery, because of fear, we are always thinking about it.
Beautiful. Yes. Very nice. Yeah. So anything, anyone wants to share anything? Nandini, would you like to share anything?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. No, I think we're all, we've had a COVID positive case over here, and he happens to be the building supervisor. And so, yeah, there is panic, you know, so I think this was something that, and in fact, the message that you had sent on focusing on the cure rather than the panic, I think that is something that one, sometimes I wish it was collectively practiced. That's the thing. So I think this is one of those things, right? I mean, I look forward to it because, but today was a little this thing. We've also, I think, grappling with electricity issues here. So how do you sort of, you know, those little bits, and how do you keep your being in that space? So that can get a little challenging with, you know, because you tend to also sort of, you know, come into the panic mode, and how do you?
You know, I think Nandini, मुझे लगता है कि यही सबसे बड़ा हमारे लिए, it's like an opportunity, you know, these opportunities that everyone around is panicking, And यहाँ पे there is somebody, at least a few people or someone who is not panicking.
Right.
There you give your gift. This is your gift.
Yeah.
So this is
So,
an opportunity, you know, for each one of us, especially those of us who are connected with the mother or divine in any form, that at least we can be one drop of panic less in this world.
Yeah. I'm just going to shift. So I think that's where the, both it's a challenge and a gift, and such a, because I couldn't think of anything else. He happens to be on his own, and, you know, and of course, as a collective, everyone is trying to do their best. But all I could think of that, you know, you have to surrender it to mother. And hopefully, yeah, she will do what is required of the situation or circumstance.
Not hopefully. She will do.
She will, yeah.
Hopefully का तो कोई सवाल ही पैदा नहीं होता.
Yeah.
Hopefully is only there when something should go exactly according to what I think is the best.
Yeah.
Once you have, see, whenever we talk about surrender, we talk about unconditional surrender. Now, what is unconditional surrender? Whether situation turn according to my mind or not, whether I am yours. This is unconditional surrender.
Right. Yeah.
I am yours.
Yeah.
Now, but it takes time for the mind and vital to follow. You know, otherwise, people around also, you know, can influence a lot.
Yeah. So I think that's where one of the, during these times, that, you know, the challenge has sort of been in that to stay consciously, because there are those times that you wonder, is this what we have come to, you know? And so when I read those messages also you had sent on the, I think a day or two back, right? A couple of lines. And these are the moments when you sort of, at least for me, it has really, really been a great opportunity to practice and see that, you know, just to be with those times.
Beautiful, beautiful. You know, your intensity, usually the day-to-day life, we think that everything is okay. So we don't have that intensity usually. When things are very difficult, like these challenging times, you know, anything can happen. These are the times that give us intensity to practice yoga even fully, even more at an exponential speed.
Right.
So we can actually turn all these so-called face value crises into deepening practices that, yes, I am not going to leave mother no matter what.
No matter what.
Yes, yes. Yes. So that's also, that's really beautiful. You know, I think, you know, whenever all my friends have fallen into crisis, you know, I have been the happiest. Somehow, you know, log bolenge ki ye kaisa dost hai ya dushman hai, you know.
Yeah.
Why happiest? Because I know their capabilities also. I know that something beautiful is going to come out of this. Otherwise, in day-to-day life, we are not that intense. We hardly care for transformation.
Right.
We hardly are ready to give ourselves to the mother. But in the state of crisis, when किसी की जान लटकी हुई है कि भैया बचा लो, अब मदर को देना ही पड़ेगा. क्योंकि इतना burden लिया नहीं जाता. So now a deep connection with mother has the capacity to form. Right. And that's the beauty. That's the only thing that matters in life.
Yeah, there's a line in Savitri. Only in the uplifting hour of stress, it comes.
Uplifting hour of stress.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was this very beautiful.
Yeah, you got muted, Nandini.
And yeah, so there was this really nice passage, I think, which I read. I've been reading it every other day, but it just sort of, you know, so she says, I don't remember it. I can't put it on right now. I don't have it in front of me. But she says, look into my eyes and you will find the world, you know. So deeply and consciously look into my eyes. I think there is one, it's like a prayer which has been there. And whatever you know have, I mean, just look into my eyes and it will be presented. So that is I mean, you know, I have a small picture of hers over here also. So whenever there is a moment or two, you just go up to her and just say, "Bas, ho gaya abhi, aap kar lo." And that gives that peace that envelops. I think nothing else is comparable to. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. I remember this little prayer by, I think, Rahim Das ji. He says that mujhe to dukh hi dena. Give me dukh only. Why? Because in dukh, I am the most connected with you. And all that matters is my connection with you. So agar dukh mein rakhna hai, kyunki main kutte ki pooch hu, we are dog's tail. We usually day-to-day life, we are not that connected. It's a fact for all of us. So in challenges, in painful situations, in turmoils, these are the spaces which open a window to the divine in our being. So that's again a very interesting prayer, that keep me in dukh only so that I can stay connected. Yeah. So anything else? Because I have some other things today to do. So I would like to end, if we are okay. If there are few reflections, we can take a few minutes. Yeah. Anything from anyone?
That way we can keep going on and on. There's lots and lots.
Yeah,
But
that's
if
true.
you have an agenda to do, then you may as well go ahead.
Yeah. I think let's
go. Yeah.
Yeah, let's maybe silently we can today, after the session, we can pray for each one of us, so that we are just one drop of panic less in this universe today. It's urgent almost, that we, at least those of us who are with the divine, with the mother, have a certain connection. Just do not spread that panic, and stay calmly with the mother, so that this is just a phase and it will pass very soon.
Even Sri Aurobindo says that your aspiration, inspiration, your respiration, and very heartbeat you sacrifice, you surrender to divine. Synthesis of yoga, it is there. Next time I will read that page actually.
Sure.
It came as the answer to my prayer yesterday.
Beautiful.
This same line is there. Inspiration, aspiration, respiration, and very heartbeats. So now I started praying for everyone. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu.
Sukhito bhavantu.
Yeah, we will end with this. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.